How to command respect like Alfie Solomons. Alfie Solomons, aka the only one who won an argument against Tommy Shelby in Peaky Blinders. He always steals the show when he's in the room and always dominates his opponents. And in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down how Alfie Solomons commands respect and how you can do the same. And don't worry, you don't have to be a gang leader, you don't have to be in a serious position. There are literally no requirements to be respected like him with his methods. You can apply these 5 effective ways easily. 1. He's putting limits. The best thing Alfie does is to be able to show or tell what's bothering him exactly. Not only that, after showing him what is bothering him, he also knows what and how severely he should do against those who cross his red line. Now, as a quick example, watch what Alfie did to be sure that bakers will take their job seriously after a funny little joke. The thing is, Alfie is not even angry here. He knows exactly what he's doing and he's in full control. And he did it to show them what happens if they don't respect him, his business, and his business partners or their words. Of course, using force or violence over others is not a good thing. I don't recommend it and you don't want it at all. But what I'm trying to tell you is you should put limits. You should have red lines and you should make them know what happens or what may happen if they don't respect your limits over and over again. Here's another example of how Alfie commands respect without using any violence. As you can see, Sabini tries to interrupt Alfie, and it shows that he doesn't respect him. Alfie knows this, but still, in order to command respect, he didn't let him to cut his words and even spoke louder till Sabini shuts up. Look here, how he decreases his voice tone after Sabini's silence. In both scenarios, Alfie handled it with disrespect very well. In your daily life, there will be hundreds of scenarios where people will interrupt your speaking, where people will distract you from your focus, and you are going to be in many situations where people will cross your line. So in order to prevent those and command respect, sometimes you just have to make clear that they shouldn't cross your line. No one respects a person who can cross his lines, downplay, and interrupt as he wants. Number 2. He's expert on body language. Body language can make you look like a king or like a slave. It all depends on where and how you stand. As for Alfie, he's so specialized in body language that he easily uses it to make his thoughts or presence appear stronger than they are. He always uses his body language in the most effective way possible, and that makes him more respected. For example, he always uses eye contact, and the way he's using it changes depending on the situation. He can very calmly make eye contact with you. You don't notice it and you don't even perceive it as a threat, but having his eyes on you unwillingly puts pressure on you. But also, he can make eye contact like he stares at your soul. He does this to strengthen his threat, and it makes him look more dangerous. Dangerous one that you don't want to mess with and you respect. Moreover, he uses finger pointing to strengthen his threats. Sometimes he gets closer when he's threatening others. Sometimes he leans, and sometimes, even in a very calm way, he can make the other person feel the power of his threat. And the eye contact he makes with a nod as he says the end of the sentence. Pretty calm, but you know he'll do it. That's the power of body language and the key of respect. Now, if you want to learn about body language, there are videos in my channels that I analyze, so you can go and check them and subscribe to be aware of the next ones. Number 3. He listens often. Alfie always listens completely before taking action and gives the best reactions he can give depending on the situation. This is so important. If you don't fully understand things and react incorrectly, you may lose the discussion you're in and may lose people's respect for you. Moreover, you won't gain anything because of your wrong reaction, and it's a lose-lose situation for you. Now, check out Alfie tells Sabini that he wants to listen to him.
Talk.
Now, as you see in the scene, Alfie started to talk after realizing what they are on. Sabini's man said, "You lost control." And Alfie is like, "Oh, I see, so that's the topic." And then he started to talk about his reasons. That gave him an advantage to redirect the conversation to his side with his reasons. If he hadn't been listening carefully, the conversation would have been in Sabini's favor. Or check this to see how Alfie still stands and listens to Tommy even where there is a gun pointing at his head.
You left the name off the list, Alfie.
Did I?
Yeah. I've already spoken to my people in the jewellery quarter, experienced dealers.
He didn't react, didn't interrupt, and just waited for Tommy's and his sentence. Later in this scene, see how Alfie stops and thinks about his next action. He analyzed the situation and then went to argue with Tommy. He found the perfect point, then went for that to press there. If he hadn't stopped and listened to the end, things might have gone terribly wrong, and he might not have been the only one to win an argument against Tommy.
Well said, Alfie. Well said.
I did not know about your boy, though.
With that said, it's clear that Alfie got Tommy's respect again. You can see that Alfie always listens to the other person. He always listens and takes action depending on the situation, which makes him always respectable. Because he's actually right. He always wins. He always finds the gaps in the conversation and always presses there. Number 4. He's likable and intimidating. The only reason why Alfie is liked even more than the main character Tommy is because he's usually grumpy, but also relaxed and funny. And the reason why this commands respect is because Alfie is such an inconsistent character that people think twice before speaking, and that's why they show respect. Actually, it's kind of respect mixed with fear. The first reason for this is, as explained in the first one, he shows people what he can do when his borders are crossed. And the second reason is that people think twice before saying something to him because he displays a very inconsistent attitude. Check this.
You hunted my mum with dogs. But today, right, is for forgiveness, isn't it?
To see how he changes from an intimidating attitude to the relaxed and funny attitude. And not just that, he also acts a little bit intimidating even when he's fully relaxed. Now check this to see his crazy behavior here.
That shit will rot your pipe work. You bastards only understand one language.
It's all right, Alfie. No need.
There really isn't much of a big deal here, but if you saw someone pointing a gun at a bird's nest as if it was doing it every day, you would think twice before saying anything. You don't know if Alfie is going to laugh at the word that comes out of your mouth or get angry and attack. You basically can't predict anything about him, and that's his go-to method to command respect. Number 5. Commands respect directly. And finally, you may not expect this, but sometimes Alfie just commands respect directly. Check this to see how he does it.
To do business is for my professional services. If you keep interrupting me, I won't be able to focus too much, you understand?
This is actually one of the most effective techniques. Constantly interfering with your work and interrupting you and your conversation is a sign of disrespect. And you can overcome this in a few ways. The best way is to tell the other party that you're not talking to them directly. It's kind of like saying, shut up, and this person would think twice before trying to interrupt you again, because you made your first warning very clear. Here's another example how Alfie commands respect without saying it directly.
And also write down that all our bookies can go back to Epsom.
He didn't say that.
Who's asking you?
He just tells them to shut up and stop interfering in a different way. And in your real life, it is easy to apply. You can exactly do the same thing and that would work fine. Now, of course, you don't want to be like Alfie in every way, but I found his ways are easy to apply and really effective. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and don't forget to check our another video about how Alfie wins every argument. See you in the next one.